When you drive into Venice, you drive over this wonderful bridge built by Mussolini. You park in a huge parking garage, and then you get on the People Mover, where you can move to the Vaporato. And you take the People Mover, and then you get to this place called Plaza Roma, where is the first availability to get on the Vaporato, and then you go by the water bus into Venice.
Running very crowded.
Like it's today.
Yeah.
By the Vaporato, the first sight you'll see are all of the industrial areas. Then you go by the main railway station, and lots of constructions on the outskirts. Here's Calatrava Bridge, Venice's newest and most controversial bridge because of its modernistic design, but it links the place Roma and the railroad station. You go by these enormous cruise ships, and they're mostly taller than any of the buildings in Venice. We had a heck of a time finding the hotel, as I got us on the wrong Vaporato, but finally we found our exit and got into the hotel, and it was a beautiful street between two canals. While we were in Venice, Venice was suffering one of the worst heat waves in its history. And later we went and visited some Venetian friends who had retreated to Cortina in the mountains. And they said it was like a scene out of Dante's Inferno in Venice.
Roaring up and down. What would you say, 60 miles an hour?
This is a Venice fire hydrant. There's no foot traffic on the Grand Canal, so you have to take these little side alleys to travel in parallel with the Grand Canal. That's why you have all of this foot traffic in these tiny, tiny streets. This is the Basilica of Santa de Maria della Salute, one of the most important churches in Venice, and it was built to commemorate the end of the plague in the city, and it contains an enormous number of Titian paintings. across the Grand Canal, you can see St. Mark's and the Doge's Palace. And amazingly, the Doge's Palace is pretty much covered with advertising. This from L'Oreal. And here's the Bridge of Sighs, the famous one. And really is a bridge of sighs with all this advertising around it. In the background, you see the church of San Giorgio Maggiore, one of the most famous churches in Venice, and occupies almost an entire island.
Whether this is black powder or gem.
And this was lunch. Here's another famous Venice bridge, the Ponte dell'Accademia, and it's a wooden bridge which replaced a not wooden bridge, and they just decided to leave the wooden bridge, but then they demolished it and replaced it with a more modern wooden bridge.
Undying love.
Quanto è, scusate?
4, grazie.
Back on the extremely jam-packed Vaporato, as part one of this tour of Venice comes to an end.